holy. We are holy, holy, holy.
Good morning, everybody. The gong tells us it's time. If you're making your way to your seat, you can actually stay standing if you like. We're going to open up with I Am Open. You know what we're singing? I am open. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive. I am open to receive the love in you and me. I am open. I am open. I am open to receive the love in you and me. You got it. And now sing to your neighbor. You are open. You are open. You are open to receive the love in you and me. You are open. Yes, you are. You are open. You are open to receive the love in you and me. Why don't you go greet your neighbor? We'll come back with another verse.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Parker. See, a lot of energy going on this morning. Yeah. Is the door locked? It looks like maybe somebody's trying to get in, just in case. We
Try
welcome
the other
Janice
door.
Kelly back with us this morning. Thank you, Janice.
So
for
glad to
being
be
here.
with you.
I'm David Howard. If I haven't met you yet, I'm David Howard, and it is my pleasure to be the minister here at CSL Parker. And it is my pleasure to welcome you here. Whoever you are, wherever you are on your life journey and your spiritual journey, we want you to know that you're welcome here. And I hope you find a home and a place of love and connection here at CSL Parker. So I have a couple of things I want to remind you of or share with you this morning as we get started. One, if you are new here, I want to remind you or let you know there are some welcome cards on the table over here with the purple tablecloth. We'd love to have you complete one of those. Let us know you're here. And I promise we won't be hounding you with lots of phone calls or emails or anything like that. We just want to know you're here. So please fill out one of those for us if you would. Also want to remind you or let you know there is a prayer box on the table as you came in and as you leave. Please, if you have a prayer request, there are prayer cards. You can fill out one of those and just know that those prayer requests will be prayed for and over by our practitioners. And speaking of our practitioners, you will see some people around the room with their white stoles. They are our practitioners trained to be with you in your own prayer request and to hold that with you and for you. And I want to let you know, Reverend, I always want to say Reverend Vern. Dr. Vern is beginning a new class coming up on Wednesdays beginning June 26th and on Saturdays beginning June 29th. And the class is called The Chosen. And so if you'd like to participate in that, please go to our website and register through the website. I know you will be blessed if you participate in that. And let you know, those classes fill up very quickly. So if you are interested, please maybe sign up today so that you make sure you have a spot. I also want to ask again for your help. We do have our hospitality every Sunday. We have people who come in to set up, and we have Catherine and we have Jennifer who are chairing that committee. And if you would be willing to stay a little bit later after service and help clean up, we really need some help with that. So if you are willing and interested in doing that, please speak to one of them. Let them know. There's Jennifer there. Catherine is here. And let them know that you would be willing to help. And Sissy over here, and Bern is back here. So all of these people have given their time and love to make sure this happens. So please help us out with that. And one other thing. We had our board meeting on Monday, and we talked a bit about having a space where we can do weekday classes and maybe evening classes. We can't do that here, obviously, because it's a school. They have other things going on during the week. So we're looking for maybe a place to rent that we can do those classes that's around, close around here. So if you know of anything, you know of anybody who might know of something like that, please speak to one of our board members and let us know so we can take advantage of that. And so the other thing I want to mention today, and it's obvious, is that tomorrow is Memorial Day. And I came in this morning into this building, into this room, and I saw this huge American flag hanging here. It's not usually there. I don't think it's usually there. At least, and maybe it is, and I just don't really notice it. But I really noticed it today, and I went to Chat GPT, and I asked to please remind me of the symbolism of the American flag. And this is what it said. Well, first of all, that is for representative of the 13 colonies. But it says, red, white, and blue, the colors of the flag hold specific symbolism. Red symbolizes valor and bravery. White symbolizes purity and innocence. And blue symbolizes vigilance, perseverance, and justice. The flag represents the history and unity of the United States, as well as the founding principles of freedom, democracy, and equality. The flag has also been seen as a symbol of resilience and hope, especially during times of crisis or conflict. It has been raised as a symbol of freedom and solidarity in moments of tragedy and triumph. And so as we honor Memorial Day and what it is a representation of those who gave their lives for those values, not for a flag, but for what that flag represents. The values that represents. And so, as we honor those who have given their lives in service to those values, I want to first just ask those of you who have family members who have given their lives in war to please stand. So we honor you in your grief, in your honoring of those who have given their lives. And I think what came to me this morning is that we honor those men and women who stood those values, who fought for those values, and who died for those values. We certainly respect and honor that. And I think the greatest way that we can honor that is for us, individually and collectively, to recommit ourselves to standing for those values. Freedom, equality, democracy, unity. And so I just want to ask you all to stand. If you're willing to stand for those values. And let's just take a moment to breathe into our hearts, connecting with the values of purity, unity, freedom, democracy, justice for all people, equality for all people. And as we stand, we recommit ourselves to standing for those values in all that we do and say and be. And we are so grateful for your willingness to make that commitment and to honor those values within yourself and to all that symbolizes those values. So take a breath, and if you are willing, just proclaim that by saying, "And so it is." So it is. Thank you. So I want to invite our practitioner of the day, Colleen, up to share a reading with us.
Am I on? Yes.
You are on.
So I received yesterday a photograph of my family cemetery plots with all the flowers that my brother and I had ordered. And it was so beautiful. And it reminded me of all the values that I was raised with. And so in picking out this reading, which comes from Living of Science from Mr. Holmes, it reminded me that my father always raised me to believe that I could do anything that I put my mind, my heart, and my soul into. And I think that's kind of the message I want to share with you today. It's the same for us. All of that good is here. And if we have love, we have no fear. Most of our fears can be traced to those unconscious attitudes of mind which arise from our repressed desires to live more abundantly and our inward sense of inferiority because we are uncertain in the future. Well, the way to get rid of fear is through the cultivation of faith. A faith founded on the thought that God is all there is. If we learn to see God in people, in circumstances, and situations, we shall find him. Seek, and ye shall find. When we turn in complete confidence with a simple, childlike trust and faith to life itself, it will always respond to us. It doesn't matter what the history of any evil experience may have been, or how long we may have harbored fear or resentment or doubt in our lives. In the very moment when we turn from it, it will depart from us. You see, eternity is here and now. God is everywhere. The divine spirit is in every person here. And the movement of the law of good is in all human events. We alone block our own good, and we alone can reaffirm it. We alone can readjust our lives to a new way of thinking until all of our patterns of thought are changed. In doing this, we shall be making the best bargain we've ever made, for we shall be swapping fear for faith, doubt for certainty, hell for heaven. It is destined that we shall all do this sooner or later. So why delay the day of our freedom from fear? This is the day. And we should accept that kingdom from which it is forever given. This is the day we should get complete clearance from all of our yesterdays. This is the day God has made. Let us all be glad and celebrate it. And so it is.
I'd like you to join me on this meditation chant where we speak about moving from thinking to seeing to feeling to doing. my sin, peace in my feeling, and love in my doing. Let's try that together. Harmony in my thinking, beauty, beauty in my sin, peace, peace in my feeling, and love in my doing. Harmony, harmony in my thinking, beauty, beauty in my sin, peace, peace in my feeling, love, and love in my doing. We say them all together now. Harmony, beauty, peace, and love, now and always.
So let's take a breath, settle in. Allow those words to resonate deeply as you open to the awareness of that which is the very harmony and the beauty and the peace and the love that is the life energy that is living itself as you this moment. And so as you sing that chant, as you open yourself to the realization, allow yourself to have that experience of that life energy, the power, the presence of the one that is the vibrational frequency of harmony, allowing that harmony to vibrate, to resonate in your thinking. All thoughts attuned to that vibrational frequency that is harmony. Allowing your seeing to be attuned to the frequency that you think of when you hear the word or sing the word or vibrate with the word beauty. Beauty. The very nature of the divine expressing in and through and as all creation is beauty. And so as we allow our seeing to be in resonance with that vibration, beauty is all we see. Beauty is all we perceive. And as you settle into your heart space, the vibration of peace, peace that passes all of our human comprehension, the peace in which we rest, the peace from which all is born and in which all abides in truth. The vibration, the resonance of peace in your heart. Allowing yourself to attune to peace. And in that attunement, harmony and beauty and peace, the very essence of your divinity, we open. We open as expressions of the vibration of love. Love in all that we say, love expressing in all that we do. Every step we take, we ground the energy of love. Because we are here to bring forth into this dimension the harmony and the beauty and the peace and the love of the divine. And so take a moment, if you will, in the silence, to welcome, to attune every aspect of your being with those vibrations. As you open to become that resonant field of harmony and beauty and peace and love.
Harmony in my thinking, beauty in my seeing, peace in my feeling, and love in my doing. Harmony, beauty, peace, and love, now and always.
So as you breathe once again into that awareness, I am the harmony, the beauty, the peace, and the love of the divine. Let's say that together. I am the harmony, the beauty, the peace, and the love of the divine. And so it is.
Restore my wholeness there. In the eye of the storm is where the truth lives. In the eye of the storm all struggle cease. In the eye of the storm is where the healing begins, and we find our path to peace. When I remember that Spirit's on my side, and every challenge begins and ends with me, then I can stop resisting my imagined foes and rest in perfect clarity. In the eye of the storm is where the truth lives. In the eye of the storm all struggle cease. In the eye of the storm is where the healing begins, and we find our path to peace. storm is where the truth lives. In the eye of the storm, all struggle cease. In the eye of the storm is where the healing begins, and we find our path. In the eye of the storm is where the truth lives. In the eye of the storm, all struggle cease. In the eye of the storm is where the healing begins, and we find our path to peace. Yeah, yeah. Find our path to peace. Thank you so much. Let's hear it for John and Harry as well.
Thank you, Janice. I know you wrote that song just for us today, didn't you? Yeah. That's how you roll. Yeah, whoops. Mic drop. So if you've been following our weekly email, you know that I've been basing my talks on the book, The Eye of the Storm. And what I would say is loosely based on the book Eye of the Storm by Gary Simmons. Thank you for the song. I love that. Did you write that?
I wrote it for that book study.
Okay, I figured you must have.
Adopted it as the theme song for
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with us this morning. Yeah. So, as I said, loosely basing the talks this month on that book. And as I was meditating, journaling this week, the Ram Dass quote kept running through my head that we're all just walking each other home. We are all just walking each other home. And as I thought more about that and meditated and contemplated on that, I thought this idea that home, for me, when I think about home, I think about not a place necessarily, but an awareness, a consciousness. Home is this representation of love and belonging and peace and beauty. And it's this place of acceptance and where we know who we are, where we're reminded of who we are. Now, I know we didn't all have home lives like that. But our home, when we think about our home as that place within us, where we find that, where we center ourselves in that. And that I was reminded this week of when I was a kid. For me, at least in my early childhood, I did believe that I had this place that was home for me. It was a home. My mother was there. She was a stay-at-home mom. She was a fun mom. She played with us. She was a loving presence for me. And I remember when I was a kid, we moved, when I was about 4, maybe between 4 and 5, we moved into this new house that my parents had built. They didn't build it, they had it built. Anyway, they had this house built. And our backyards the corner of our backyard joined the corner of another backyard. And I became immediate close friends with Janet. And she's a lifelong friend. She's like a sister to me. Still to today, she's like a sister to me. And we would play together. I remember when I'd get up in the morning, especially like on a Saturday morning, and as soon as it was light enough, I would run down to her house to play. Because we had so much fun together. But I would also, somehow in the middle of playing, I would remember. And then I would run back home. We had this sliding glass door. And I would, you know how kids are, they put their hand against the glass to slide it open. I would slide the glass open and I would yell, "Mama, Mama, Mama." And my mom would finally say, "What?" Say, "Oh, I'm just checking." And then I'd close the door and then I'd run back down and play. I know your mother's probably going, "Oh gosh." But for me, it was like I had to know that there was that place where I could always go home to, that safe place. And again, I know that we didn't all have that, but we do all have that. You know, it's within us. And it's like this, that's really what I think of when I think about wholeness and heaven and the realization of that. Like, the kingdom of heaven, the realm of the divine is within us. Is within us. And, as Joe sometimes reminds us, it also is among us. Right? It is among us. And when I think about this idea that we are all just walking each other home, we are all here to remind each other of that. And as I was thinking about that this week, this is how egocentric I can be. I was thinking, well, all of you are here to help me come home. You know, it's all about me, right? And then I realized, oh, I'm here to help you come home too, right? We're all in this together, helping each other find that place of home. And you know what I realized too is that it's really easy when I walk in here and I feel your love and I feel that you're here and we're all the same mind. We're open-hearted people. We believe much of the same things. It's so easy to say, oh, I just love how you're here to help me find home, and I'm here to help you find home. But then when somebody does something that is outside of that, I think, hey, I think we're going down the wrong road here. I think we've taken a side path to home. This don't feel like home to me. Right? And so we get in that place that we think of that.
Well, this is an example.
It's a matter of perspective. And this is what he talks about in the book. When we perceive that somebody else is making us feel a certain way, or what somebody else is doing is not helping us come home, then it's our misperception. It's a misperception. We're not seeing it clearly. We're not seeing through those eyes of beauty, right? It's like somebody is blocking my way to come home. Now, this is a very simple example, but I will tell you, I was driving home from our board meeting on Monday, which we had here in Parker, and I was driving home, minding my own business. All of a sudden, this car just cuts right in front of me. Now, I won't tell you what I said, but I was not happy about that, but I kept going. I changed lanes because I knew to get on 25, there are 2 lanes that get on 25, and so I changed lanes. Well, this car cut right in front of me again. I get on 25, another car cuts right in front of me. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to get home, and you are blocking my way. You are interfering with me getting home. How often do we feel that way when somebody out here is doing something? You are creating disturbance in my life. You are creating conflict for me. But then we realize, if I realized, and this is something that I learned a long time ago, I don't even know where it came from. It may be A Course in Miracles, but I want to keep going back to it, and I'm going to invite you to go back to it. However works for you, Holy Spirit, higher self, help me see this a different way. Help me see it differently. Help me change my point of perspective. And when we can do that, it immediately, I think, brings us back to ourselves. Because where's the Holy Spirit? Where's the higher self? Where is that part of us? It's not out here. It's right here. And so we're calling upon that aspect of us to change our perspective. So if I did that, and I'm not going to say that I was successful in the moment, but in hindsight, what if I had said, help me see this a different way? Maybe they really are helping me get home. Maybe they're slowing me down so I am not so reckless. Maybe they are helping me to find a way that is going to be better for me. And I know that's a very simple example. But what about people who show up in our lives who seem to be interfering with our peace, with our love, with our coming back to ourselves? Can we even then, again, begin to say, help me, Holy Spirit, help me, higher self, help me, my guides and teachers, help me, the angels, help me, all of that which is within me that I can connect with to have a different perspective. And to go back to the idea that everyone is leading me home. Do you believe that? Can we believe that? Can we see it from that perspective? Now, I don't want you to go out on the road and start cutting in front of people and saying, well, I'm just helping them get home. Right? That's not what I'm saying. It's not permission to be a jerk. But it's awareness if we are coming from that place and truly connected in our space of home, and we are responding from that, can we trust that we are being true to our higher knowing, our higher selves? And so perspective is so important. And changing our perspective is so important. The other thing that I think can happen in those relationships is like, it really can seem like, well, I am heading home and you are going the other direction. Not just walking away, you are freaking running away. The opposite direction. And so it's like, well, we are obviously in conflict here. But what I want to invite us into is, okay, I'm going this way, I'm doing this, you're doing that. Where does that come together? The practice of compassionate communication, nonviolent communication has really helped me with that, because what we see is that when we see that, we believe that we are in conflict, don't we? I believe I'm in conflict with you. When you're doing something that is totally opposite from what I would do or I would say. Do we find that? Can you find that? in your own life? I hesitate to bring it up, but can we find that in our political environment today? Can we find, I'm doing this, you're doing that? It seems like we're totally opposite. Can we find where that comes together? Because I believe when we can see that what we desire, coming home is what we desire. And when we desire coming home, we really want to experience this peace and love and beauty and joy that is the divine of us. That's what home is about. Comfort and belonging and peace and love and joy. And we all want that. That's the premise that we're based on. It may look like that other person is wanting something totally different. How can that lead you home? Anybody relate? How can doing that, saying that, thinking that lead you home? Well, what I invite us into is the recognition, can we, again, maybe invite that higher self to come home to say, okay, where do we come together? And can I see in you that you too are walking me home, and I am walking you home? But in order for us to do that, I think we have to come to a common ground. That we all want the same thing. Can you buy that? But we have learned different ways, different strategies, different motives, motivations for achieving that. So can we come together in our apparent conflict and see where we come together, our unity? Again, I think that's sometimes very easy for us. When we think very similarly, we have the same spiritual ideas, we have the same spiritual practices, we have all of the, maybe some of us share the same views about our culture, our society, some of the things that we share together. But what about things that it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, our values? Do we all value freedom? Do we all value equality? Do we all value those things? But maybe we have different ways of trying to achieve them. And I say this to you and to me because I believe that we are the ones to lead the way. I believe that we are the ones to show the way. If we are not willing and ready and able to do that, who will? Who will? And so our opportunity really is to, again, recognize we're all just wanting that peace and that love and that joy and the freedom and the wholeness and all that that represents. And sometimes we think we're going to find it out here. Sometimes I think you're my source of that. Or something else is my source of that. Because we believe at a very core level, at some level, that we are separate. Separate from our source. Separate from the source of peace. Separate from the source of freedom. Separate from the source of our prosperity. Separate from the source of peace. And so we have to try to create it. We have to try to find it. I have to try to get you to help me have that. Or I have to legislate it in order for me to have that. What I want to say is that until we recognize that we are not separate, that we are it, you are it, period. End of sentence. And when we recognize that, when we receive that, when we can finally embrace it and embody that, and believe me, I know how easy it is to get caught up in the storm of life, the storm of all the stuff that goes on out here. And I think, again, the storm that goes on out here begins right here. The storm that goes on in my own thinking, the storm that goes on in my own perspective, the storm that goes on in my own striving and struggling. And as we know, we are all connected. And so as my storm continues to rage, then my storm affects yours and the world's, the nation, the world. It is all connected. Well, where does it start? Where does peace begin? Where does peace begin? Right here. Home. And so as we take that to heart, to mind and to heart, and embody that we truly are here to walk and partner and companion each other home to a place of connection and belonging and peace and love and a remembrance of that truth. And I do believe that's why one of the reasons that we gather together in this place to reflect that to each other. But then, can we take that out into the world? Can we, the next time we see something or we feel that tension, that storm beginning to rise within us, can we recognize it for what it is and choose to come back to ourselves and to do our best to see that in another person? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Because I know you're only here to help me find my way back home. Not always easy, is it? But what if we practice that? What if you and I choose to practice that? As we claim our own place of home and belonging and peace, and we resonate that out, it does help to calm the storm. Because we come from the eye of the storm. You remember the story in Scripture where the storm is raging on the water, the disciples are out on the boat, and Jesus, the representation of the I am in the story, says, "Peace, be still." And the storm calms. I want to remind you that is the power that you possess. That is the power that you are. Not just the one we know as Jesus. But when you claim the truth, when you come home to your I am, the I in the midst of the storm, you say to your own mind, your own heart, your own being, peace, be still. And it happens right here. And then when you look out on what appears to be a storm raging in the world, don't doubt the power that you possess to say, peace, be still. Know I am. Know I am. And so take a moment, breathe into that space. As you breathe in, arriving home. As you breathe in, say to yourself, arriving. As you breathe out, say to yourself, home. Simply with the breath, we bring our focus, our awareness into that place that is no place at all. Into the conscious awareness of the peace and the love and the joy that eternally abide in the very center of our being. And it is from that place of deep connection, home, that we say to our feelings, to our thoughts, and yes, to our bodies, peace, be still, for I am that I am. And in this moment, as you claim that truth, I invite you to become aware of any perceived conflict or storm that might be raging in your life, in your world, not in the bigger sense of the world, but your world. And from that place, speak the word, peace, be still, know I am, claim I am, align to I am, attune to I am, the peace, the beauty, the love, the joy. And see it, perceive it, feel it happening. Claim it. Claim the power of your word, of your vibration, of your I am. And then see if you can extend that out into the world where perceived conflict is raging. Conflict, the storm. And again, claim the power of your presence, of the I am, of the word. Peace. Be still. Know I am. And see that truth alighting in the hearts and the minds and the bodies We know the power of the word, of the vibration of the I that is. And we know that we truly are all one. There is no separation. We are never separate from our good, from God, from the source. We are never separate from each other or separate from any aspect of creation. And so we claim it, allowing yourself to be the very essence of that peace. Knowing it, seeing it, feeling it, embodying it. And know that you are here to know it for yourself, to claim it, to see all others as guides, companions on your journey home. And you are here to companion each one who comes into your experience. Whether that is in your family, in your work, in the grocery store, in traffic, you are here to walk them home as well. And in that awareness, we are grateful for our willingness to claim our power, to willingness to share it, to be it, to see it manifest through all creation. We celebrate our unity, our connection with each other, and our shared humanity, our shared spirituality, our shared truth. We are here to bring that consciousness of heaven upon the earth. So take a deep breath. Feel that coming alive in every cell of your body. Breathing it all the way down through the bottom of your feet and grounding it right here and now. And let us truly, with the power of our words and energy, proclaim together, and so it is. Thank you. So now is a time in our service where we have the opportunity to share from our good as that source expresses through us, through our prosperity and abundance. So if you're going to share this morning, I invite you to take that, hold it in your hands. If you share in other ways, I invite you to hold that in your heart as we come together, knowing that we are the expressions of that one power, one presence, and all the ways that it manifests in us and through us and as us. And we are grateful. Grateful as we receive and grateful as we give. And so it is.
Yes. We are connected. We are connected. We are connected. We are connected, connected. I share your sadness and I share your pain. It helps remind me we are both the same. I feel your happiness, I feel your joy. It helps remind me, man or woman, girl or boy, we are connected, connected like the leaves upon a tree. Connected, connected like the flower to the bee. Connected, connected like the berries on the vine. Connected, connected, I am yours and you are mine, and we're connected. We are connected. victory and I share your bliss. It helps remind me I am not alone in this. I share your heartache and I share your loss. It helps remind me that we all must bear the cost, 'cause we're connected, connected like the leaves upon a tree. Connected, connected like the flower to the bee. Connected, connected like the berries on the vine. Connected, connected, I am yours and you are mine. We're connected. We are connected. We are connected, yeah. We are connected, connected to the bridge. Where every single grain of sand, every tiny drop of rain, every wave that reaches land again and again. Where every flower upon the earth, every star across the sky, every creature from its birth, you and I. Where every mind that the world, every child in every land, every flag as it's unfurled from hand to hand. Where every soul around the world, every heart that hopes to heal, woven in one perfect seam by a love so real. We're gonna do a little roll call, everybody. And if you fall into one of these categories, I want you to shout out, yeah. Remind ourselves. Fathers, we are connected. Oh, mothers, we are connected. I say sisters, we are connected. Hey, no brothers, we are connected. Let's do it again. I say fathers, yeah, we are connected. Oh, I say mothers, yeah, we are connected. Hey, what about your sisters? We are connected. Oh, how about your brothers? We are connected, 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 connected like the trees upon a tree. Come on. Connected, connected like the flower to the bee. Connected, connected like the berries on the vine. Connected, connected, I am yours and you are. Connected, connected like the leaves upon a tree. Connected, connected like the flower to the bee. Connected, connected like the berries on the vine. Connected, connected, I am yours and you are mine, and we're connected.
Right.
Thank you so much, Harry and John.
Thank you.
I have to give a shameless plug, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Next Friday, up in my neck of the woods, Coal Creek Canyon, I drive all the way down here. I'm giving a concert with my dear friend Lisa Bell, 7 o'clock. And if you want to know about it, ask me, and I'll point you to the right direction on Facebook or my website page. We'd love to have you. We have a hillside amphitheater built into our property. We'll be doing a concert once a month with different acts, and Lisa and I are kicking it off. Cool. We'd love to have you.
Nice. Thank you. Sounds like fun. And thank you for being here today.
Absolutely.
And thank you all for being here today. Thank you. And I just want to say you do have permission to get up and move and dance when you feel like it.
Dance floors
Not
open.
that you need my permission, but anyway. So let's all stand if you're willing and able to do so as we bless our offering together. We give thanks. So you breathe into that place deep within you where you know that life energy is expressing in and through and as you. It is always flowing freely as we open and accept and allow. And as we open, we receive. And as we open to that flow, we give from the flow. And we know that we are blessed. We are grateful for these gifts and offerings this morning. And we know that we are blessed as we give and as we receive. And let us say together. And
so it is. Let's sing
All
our way
right,
out.
so let's sing out.
Singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. Let's do that again. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. We open our bodies to listen. We dream the world awake. We hold to the starlight vision. Our love is a vow we make. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. One more time. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. We are singing and we are praying. We are calling a new earth. We are calling a new earth. We are calling a new earth now. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful